Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 13th, and the NFL schedule was released last night. Tom, how are you doing, bud?
I'm very tired and very sore. I don't
What
know
are you
why.
sore from? What are you sore from?
Well, so I went out with my mother yesterday for a belated Mother's Day gift for golfing for an afternoon. So my knee is pretty sore because it takes a lot out of me, I guess. I don't know. I still can't play a full 18 anymore since I tore my ACL. And for some reason, my back is really screwed up. I think I slept funny. Who knows?
All right, RG3. We're just gonna keep calling you RG3. Tom? What isn't injured on your body? How's your nose? Can you still hear? Can you still see?
Debatable. Define C and define here, because I am a terrible, terrible listener.
Yeah, well, everyone who watches the show knows that. So,
well, I'm not going to try and deny it.
All right. So, congratulations are in orders to Tom. I think you know what that is about. So congrats. I look forward to working with you more, Thomas.
Oh.
And what else did I have written down here? So obviously they did the NFL schedule release last night. I thought the show to do it was a little bit like overkill. Like for 3 hours, like and the weirdest part about it too is I feel like no one wants to know the whole schedule. They just want to know their team schedule. So as soon as ESPN Cleveland tweeted the schedule, I was like, I'm not watching that show. I just don't know why they 3 hours to like. I don't even know if we could debate schedules for 3 hours.
Well, and like you said, once the teams tweeted it, I didn't care. But they didn't even market that they were doing a show. I didn't even know there was a show until you literally just said that, because I wasn't going to watch it. I watch for it every year in my Twitter feed.
Well, they usually release it. I thought it was supposed to be released yesterday at 4. And so at 4 o'clock, I was because I knew the show wasn't until 8, but I was just looking everywhere, and they didn't announce it till actually 8. So I just thought. I mean, I know it's ESPN trying to capitalize on as much NFL as possible before summer camps and things like that. So I understand it, but there has to be a small audience for something like that. I did sitting and watching, and even with the schedule. I mean, we basically know who all the teams are going to play. Just waiting for the schedule is just when and where are we going to play them? Because they know, I think the Browns have the AFC West this year and the NFC North. So those teams. And so, yeah, I just thought, I think they should probably just should have done, honestly, would have been a better idea if they showed some NBA game last night and at halftime or the end of the first quarter, they just said the schedule was released. So I don't know. I know people want to talk about football, and we obviously love talking about football, but it was just a weird thing to do. I didn't really. It's like it was almost like when they used to do the college football national championship, and they would one of their options to watch it was sit in a room with Mac Brown and all these college football analysts and watch the game. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, and this just doesn't make much sense either. But we'll move on. Liverpool versus United is today at 1 after getting postponed 2 Sundays ago because the fans stormed the pitch. Their team movements, so Liverpool is a big rival. It's probably the biggest rivalry in England. And they think there's going to be more protests. So it's basically a CIA covert operation. They're keeping where the players are staying and how they're getting there, in secret. Only a couple people know. So I honestly would enjoy it if it got postponed again, just because I think it's so. I think it's so funny to watch like us. We bitch about the Browns or the Jets, but we don't do anything about it. We just kind of sit there. We're like, oh, they should have done this. In England, they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go take the goal, so you can't play anymore.
Awesome, taking my lunch break to go storm the field.
yeah. So sports are different in England, and so that's interesting. So today in sports history, it is Dennis Rodman's 60th birthday today. Wow, I don't even think he probably thought he'd make it to 60, but whatever. And then in 1887, they held the 15th Preakness. William Donohue rides Dunboyne to victory, which kind of gets us on the topic of horse racing. Obviously, did we talk about it on Monday? So we did talk about it. Like I said, Bob Baffert's excuses. I mean, I almost just have to believe him because they were so ridiculous and so schizophrenic. I was like, it just has to be real. Well, apparently Medina Spirit, who won the Kentucky Derby but failed the drug test, is going to be allowed to race in the Preakness, which makes sense to me. And it's really someone was asking me the other day why they let him run, and I was like, because no one's going to watch it if he's not in it, because the two horses who got second and third in the Kentucky Derby aren't racing. And so if Medina Spirit wasn't racing, I mean, nobody would sit down on a Saturday and be like, oh, I can't wait to watch this 2-minute race.
Yeah. Is he gone for a Triple Crown? Like, is that still on the table?
It'll have an asterisk next to it, just like everything nowadays, I think. Yeah. But it's weird. Horse racing as a whole is kind of it's kind of in trouble. Like, I think as we grow as a society, we're kind of like, maybe we shouldn't raise these horses to just run and then kill them when they can't run. So I think it's kind of being looked at bad, and a cheating scandal with hey, at least horse racing does, you know what they do better than the MLB? They make news, and they make their news worth it. Like, how much news we heard on Bob Baffert in the Kentucky Derby is like double the amount of news that we would ever hear from Major League Baseball. I just can't wait until a game one during the NBA Finals, when they are like, oh, these are the all-star rosters and the all-star starters and stuff, and you're like, why are you doing this now? But the MLB has issues, so
yeah,
whatever.
And that's why we don't talk about them.
Well, we actually are gonna go into a little bit of NBA. I don't know why that last one. So Luka Doncic is slowly becoming, I think, a dirty player. I mean, did you see? I don't like Colin Sexton, so I was I wasn't happy, but I didn't care that he got hit there. But I mean, if you look at the replay, so Luka basically really hardly sack-tapped Colin Sexton during the game. It was his second ejection in the week, I think, or something like that. And if he gets one more tack, he's going to be suspended, and if he gets one more flagrant, he's going to be suspended. Yeah, Luka just seems like the guy who's taking everyone loved him, and he just, for whatever reason, wants to be a heel. It seems like I don't know. And like I said, I respect Chris Paul because he's literally 6 foot, and he's playing amongst basically the NBA is all over 6'5" nowadays. And so as a small guy, I understand that you need to play dirty to your advantage. And so I respect Chris Paul that did that. But he also complained about the refs all the time, which I was like, you can't have both things. You need to you can either complain to the refs or you could be a dirty player, but you can't be both. So yeah, Luka just seems like he's taking a weird turn. I don't know. Any thoughts
I'm
on
watching
Luka?
this now, and Luka's been my favorite player since he came into the league. I just like the fact that he was my age and was out there balling, which was crazy. I just liked it when he was coming in. So I've been following him a little bit. I'm watching this now. It looks really bad, but at the same time, I don't know if you saw his comments that he had made earlier in the season about all the flagrants and stuff. He's like, yeah, I need to stop doing that. It's not okay. I just let my emotions take over and everything. And that seems to be what happened here, or at least to me, that's what it looks like. But there's really no excuse for it. I'm not trying to defend him.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. And it doesn't look like he was super malicious about it and wasn't trying to punch him in the groin. It just so happened Sexton came up, hit him, and he kind of hit back with that same elbow, but he was lower because his hand went down.
I think in watching the highlight in slow motion, he almost tries to stop himself at the very end, it seems like, but then he just goes through with it. Like he wants to stop, but he's like, I just need to hit this dude's balls. So,
Well, like he didn't hit him in the balls though, because like Sexton didn't really fall or anything. He hit him kind of like in the stomach-ish area right above it.
Yeah,
from my
like
angle,
I said, I've grown so sick. I think a lot of people have grown so sick of the guys like, I'm not sick of LeBron. I'll always love LeBron, but sick of the guys like LeBron. I mean, if you look at it, this NBA season it's been a complete joke. Like there was no point in playing the regular season this year in the NBA. Like Harden and the whole Nets team, I think, have played together like 3 times total, and they'll probably win the East. And then one of either the Lakers or the Clippers will win the West. Like it's so like unwatchable that I don't get people who always tune in, and it's not even like it's as exciting anymore. Like I don't think NBA is exciting. The only thing exciting is when John Morant gets a alley-oop thrown to him and he misses it, but everyone tweets like, "Oh, John Morant was so close." Well, he wasn't. He didn't make it, so he sucks. There's never been a player in the history of the NBA that fans and like organizations alike want to be a star. Like everyone wants John Morant to be a star, and he just isn't that good. Like I don't understand how you can be an NBA point guard, and this also goes for De'Aaron Fox and the Kings. Like how can you not? You can't be my point guard on my team if you don't shoot 80% from 3.
80% from 3? Even Steph doesn't do that. Steph shoots at 40%.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I get what you're saying. Like the game has evolved where everyone needs to be able to shoot, and the fact that you spend countless hours, becoming an NBA level player and you can't shoot a 3 is concerning, especially as a point guard where you're supposed to. But they're so advanced in other facets of the game that you could build around their lack of 3 ball, if that makes sense. So like the Kings paired Fox with what was his name, Bogdanovich. He was a pretty good 3-point shooter. So whenever
they also paired him with Halliburton this year, who just came out, who was probably the best shooter in the draft. Yeah, no, I agree. I just if you're not, I mean, Ben Simmons is a little different because he's really tall. So if you don't put ball pressure on him, he will stand at the top of the key and throw passes wherever he wants, and he'll throw it over you. But like if you're not that tall and say you're like, honestly, the worst thing that the Cavs have done was draft Colin Sexton. Like it's just so the opposite of the way the NBA is heading that they drafted a shooting guard who's 6 feet tall, and literally they said before they drafted him, they're like, he won't play point guard. He can't play point guard. So the Cavs are a joke.
Yeah.
But I feel like all the teams and organizations, like they want John Morant to be like this next superstar, and he isn't. I don't know. He can't. Once again, he can't shoot 3s, so I don't understand him. But other than that, in the NBA, I don't know.
Play-in tournament.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Do you want to explain it? Because I kind of know it, but I don't really know. Like I thought the play-in, like when I hear play-in, it should be like what I think would be the better way to do it is you take the 9th and 10th place teams in each division, play them, or in each conference play them, and then the winner plays the 8th seed for the opportunity to get in the playoffs. But even that's weird for me because, I mean, if you play a whole 82-game season, it's stupid to have that just ride on one game that can be a fluke. I mean, it's why March Madness is great, but it's also why it's not the NBA. So what are you staring at? You are very intent on something.
I'm reading about the play-in tournament, and I'm trying to understand it. The Blazers are number 5, and they play at the Suns versus the Nuggets. So is it like 3-game series to re-rank everything? What is this?
I like I said, I didn't look at it. I can't. I just don't know what they're doing. So I like I said, I don't even know where to start with it.
Once again, I see how it is. Okay.
It would be incredible if the Lakers had to play in the play-in and lost. That would be incredible, but I don't see that happening.
So the way
So
it
explain the
works,
play-in tournament. Yeah, there you go.
the way it works is the 9 and 10 seeds play each other, right? And the 7 and 8 seed play each other. Then the winner of the 9-10 plays the winner or the loser of the 7-8 for some reason. And the winner of the 9-10, 7-8 game or whatever. I'm gonna pull it up on this computer and I'll just share this graphic that I found. NBA play-in tournament. This seems to get a pretty good understanding of it.
It just doesn't make sense to me why the 8 seed I can kind of agree with, but if you played it like a full season and you got the 7 seed, there's no way you should miss the playoffs. Like
Okay.
And then they're adding more games basically. So okay, here.
Yeah. Do you want to put that up real quick? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the bracket, right? So the 9 and 10 play. They move on to the winner. Because the 7 and 8 team are technically already in, whoever wins this game goes in as the 7th seed. And the loser, so essentially the 8 seed, let's say the 7 seed wins and goes on into the 7th seed. Essentially, the 8 would move up to here and play the 9, and whoever wins this game moves into the playoff spot. So it's like a mini playoff before the playoffs.
Like, I just don't have the patience to look at all that.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, over here.
I know. I get it. It's just, it's once again, stupid. I know. It's once again, I used overkill with the NFL draft show, but this is overkill. Like, they should have just done, like, a 1 or 2 team or 3 team play-in if they were going to do it. Like, there's no reason to include, like, the 7 seeds or it just – it takes away the meaning of the regular season, which is already at an all-time low. I mean, guys just miss games literally because they just don't want to play. Like, they'll just say personal reasons and they won't play. So,
yeah, I don't know. Pull a Kyrie and go MIA.
Well, that's he's got issues. So, we'll move on. I can't do the NBA anymore.
You want to tighten this up real quick before we move on?
Go ahead.
No, can you tighten this up like camera wise?
Oh God!
Because it reset.
Get over it.
It looks nicer when I'm in full screen. I like it better.
All right. Well, let's say MLB right now. So I know I put it on the outline, but there's already been like 5 no-hitters this year, and
yeah,
like honestly, it's lost its luster. Like, it used to be, back 2-3 years ago, if you heard like someone on the Blue Jays has gone 7 hitless innings, you were like, oh, okay, cool, let's turn that on and watch the end of the game, see if we can get a no hit. Now, if you told me that, unless it was an Indians pitcher, I'd just be like, all right, let me know how it goes. Like,
yeah.
So, but it seems like they're.
Go ahead.
That's all you.
No, I was just going to say, like, it seems like there are a lot more situations like that. And it's funny because the MLB in recent years has truly put an emphasis on making the game more about the batting. And pitchers keep finding ways to make it better for them, or at least make it so that it's not going to just be all hitting, which is just funny to me. And I don't know if you saw, but there's this TikTok video that's been going around, and I've been seeing it all over everywhere. This guy is making accusations that John Means, I think he's an Orioles pitcher.
Yeah, he threw a no-hitter.
Yeah,
he threw a no-hitter through 7, so it doesn't count.
No, I thought that was Bumgarner too.
One of them, whoever pitched the complete game, hit 7. It doesn't count as a perfect game.
Because it was a doubleheader, so it was a 7-inning game, and
which is stupid in and of itself. Like, they should just play until the 9th inning, and like say he's on the mound and they come up in the 8th inning and they hit a hit. Like, then it's over. Just end it there. Like, that's fine, but that's nowhere no hit. So
Yeah. My feeling is if the game counts, then the no-hitter should count. Like, if it's an official game, then it's an official no-hitter. Like, no, because that's what the MLB said. They're like, oh, it's not an official no-hitter because he didn't pitch 9.
Yeah.
But, like, if the game counts and you're going to say 7 innings counts as a full game, then the full game should count, which means he threw a no-hitter.
I completely agree. I mean, but then again, like we were just talking about, like, do you even celebrate a no-hitter anymore? like I think it was Means or maybe one of the other pitches that pitched no-hitter. Like, it wasn't like he was just K-ing guys back and forth. He got like 15 ground balls in like 5 flyouts, so he just got lucky basically. But yeah, I mean, it's lost its luster. I mean, baseball as a whole for me, now that Francisco Lindor's gone, I mean, I just don't watch it. So, well, you have Francisco Lindor, and he's sucking for you, so that sucks. But
yeah,
I'll give you, he does always start out slow. He always has. And like I said, I want him to be good on the Mets. I want him to have a good career. I want him to win a World Series at some point. If it's with the Mets, it's with the Mets. Great. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Lindor is struggling right now.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, he struggled more at the plate in Cleveland than other people were led to believe. Like, he was not this 5-tool guy necessarily, or maybe when he was coming up he was, but over the past 2-3 years, I mean, and part of it was they just didn't know where to hit him in the order. Like, I mean, there were times when he was hitting 1 and 2, and then there were times when he was hitting 5 and 6. And like, that brings me to another point. Like, I think baseball might be like the hardest sport to coach. Like, because I don't even think it's like a tactical thing, really. It's just like, I would say, like, and I could be completely wrong, I don't know. Like, it's like 90% mental and like 10% like physical, but like just the mental preparation for like taking pitchers out and everything. So,
yeah. Well, I'm like, it's also really interesting because, like, you have guys like Albert Almora Jr. I think he's on the Mets. He can't hit worth anything, or I forget. He's not a 5.
I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
You know, it's something like he can't hit well, but he's a really good defender, or he can't do defense, and he's a really good hitter. But like, you put him in the 9th inning, and you're like, okay, I need a big bat real quick, and you put him in, and then you're taking out your defensive guy. And it's the same thing with Jonathan Villar. That's what I was really looking for. He comes in when we need a defender in the lineup, not really a hitter. Or they'll sub in, I don't even know like the full team in all honesty, but like, I know he plays second and short or whatever. But like, it also gets really interesting because pitchers like certain catchers, and the catchers may not line up with the manager's strategy for that day.
Yep.
So I agree. It's very hard to just coach and even just organize the roster.
Yeah, I know last year, Roberto Perez, I think the year before, our catcher had made the All-Star game and like was one of the top catchers coming into last year. He didn't catch for Bieber though, because Bieber someone else always caught him. So
it's the same thing with DeGrom and Syndergaard. They each like a different catcher.
Yeah, but that it brings us to another point in baseball, which is just crazy. That I mean, first of all, what Shohei Ohtani is doing is insane.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, I want to talk about him and Mike Trout because
they're both insane.
They're insane. Like, yeah, but Mike Trout is still the best player ever, and it's so unbelievable that they can't market him. I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, what Shohei Ohtani, I listened to a podcast that had Dan Herron. He was an old Cubs pitcher for like the early 2000s, late 90s. And he was basically like, I mean, what Shohei Ohtani is doing right now is going to change the game of baseball forever. And I agree. I mean, if Shohei Ohtani can do it in China or Japan or wherever, I mean, we're already on that path in high school anyways with like places like IMG Academy and stuff. So, but I think like the next wave of baseball superstars are going to be like all Shohei Ohtani. Like they'll all play like shortstop and pitch, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy that because I think maybe other than golf, baseball takes more skill than anything else. Like I think you could take a basketball player and put him on a football field, and I think you could take a football player and put him on a basketball court. I have a hard time believing LeBron James would hit over 100 in the MLB. So I like the MLB, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and hitting a baseball, I think, is the hardest thing to do in sports because, you could put a baseball player and he can kind of hold his own in basketball or football or soccer because he has those skills. But, like, if you put any of those other athletes in the box and say, okay, hit this 95-mile-per-hour fastball or 100-mile-per-hour fastball from Shane Bieber or Syndergaard or DeGrom, like, they're not going to touch it. So I agree. I think that baseball is the hardest sport, even over golf, because golf, it's a lot of just knowing what to do and like mental prowess and stuff, and like just not getting outside your own head.
That's me when I play golf. I get way inside my own head. I aim at the other holes, and then it goes in the other holes, and then I throw my club. And
right,
I don't think I've made it through 9 holes of golf since I was like 16. I always ended up either on the golf cart just drinking, or I would just drive the golf cart around. So that's all I did.
2 really fun things to do if you don't like golf.
It's great. You take them off. You go riding over the sand pits in them. Yeah, that's actually illegal. I learned that the hard way.
Awesome, man.
So we can get to the NFL, I guess. Well, the only other thing I have for Major League Baseball, first of all, the Yankees suck, A. And B, Aaron Boone said they have 7 cases of COVID in their coaching staff, which I'm almost impressed with. Like, with how basically not almost everyone, but how the majority of people are getting the vaccine, and that 7 guys from the Yankees locker room have it. It's just like they had to be trying to get it or something. Like, so it's just very weird. And then the other thing we kind of briefly touched on, I mean, what Mike Trout is doing is he's going to go down as the best baseball player in history.
100%. Like, it's not even close. Like,
it's insane that we're not talking about him right now. 2 weeks ago, he was hitting over 400 as a 30-year-old. Like, I think Mike Trout can end up being like the Tom Brady of the NFL. I think Mike Trout, if he stays healthy, could play till he's like legit 40 and like be really good until he's 40. So, but yeah, just the fact that no one talks about him, it's crazy. But yeah. Hey, I guess it's better for him if he likes it like that. No one's really butting in out of his life. I don't even know if he's married. I don't even know if he has a girlfriend.
He's married with a kid.
Seriously?
Yeah. I follow him on Instagram.
Okay. All right. All right. Now down to our we can talk about did you ever watch the highlights of the game I told you to watch, or did you never watch it? You probably didn't, did you?
I didn't have the chance, no.
Yeah, the chance. Yeah, okay. So the South Dakota State, Sam Houston State on Sunday. It's on ABC. Wait, is it Saturday? It might be Saturday. Saturday or Sunday on ABC. It'll be South Dakota State, Sam Houston State. If you like points, you're going to want to watch this one. The over-under was set at 47 on Monday. I believe it's close to 50 now, and it's only going to keep going up. Both the offenses are insane. Not Eastern Washington. Sam Houston's their quarterback, Eric Barriere. He hasn't officially won the FCS Heisman yet, but he will. He was first team All-American FCS, the quarterback there. And a lot of other awards handed out. But yeah, it definitely was a weird spring season. I'm looking forward to the game this weekend. I hope it's a good one. Most of the playoffs have been pretty good, so I'm hoping it's good. And yeah, I look forward to covering it in the fall. I don't know. Now that the NFL is like disappearing, I'm like in the Avengers. Like I'm just going to dust because there's now no more FCS and no more NFL, which means I was just talking to Zach last night, and I was like, "Hey, is there something wrong with my Browns articles? Is there any reason you're not posting them?" And he's like, "Yeah, because you wrote like 12, and I have to stagger them out." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Fair enough.
He was like, yeah, the only way they're going to see now is by people who search it at this point. So we're going to stagger yours out because not everybody just wants to read like tomorrow just 6 Browns articles randomly. But we will head over to the NFL because that is our favorite
forte.
sport.
Yeah,
our favorite sport. Where is this? Okay. So we do have some numbers for the rookies, I think.
they're unofficial numbers. I think that they're officialized at the end of June, I believe.
All right. So Newsome for the Browns is going to wear 20. J.C. Horn, he's going to wear 8 because of Kobe, I guess, to honor Kobe, which is a little bit weird considering he probably wasn't alive for most of Kobe's life. So that's a little weird. But I mean, hey, I guess if you're a rookie this year, I mean, you're the luckiest rookie class ever. You could basically pick whatever number you want. So he's going to wear 8. I did not confirm this, but I'm hearing Zach Wilson is going to wear 2.
That's what I had also seen.
I said they said that
he has picked
maybe 11. But when he came into the off-season camp, rookie camp, whatever, he was wearing 2.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the same one you saw.
Yeah, well, and also his mom on Instagram posted like a picture of a jersey being made, and it's the number 2. So Zach Wilson also talked to the press about why he's set to switch numbers and wear number 2 as a rookie.
Cool.
He says mixing it up with something new. I like single digits numbers, but I think it's kind of cool that I was the second pick. So like, I sort of understood why he chose it, but like,
you know what? I give Zach Wilson actually a decent amount of credit here. I mean, it's a very good move as the rookie new quarterback not to choose 1. That's, I mean, obviously that probably doesn't matter, but at least then in the eyes of the veterans, you're not like that new guy who tried to make it all by himself. So yeah, Zach Wilson on the Jets so far, he gets an A+. He passed his first test. So
passed the first test.
That's good. That's good. What other numbers do we have? Najee Harris, 22, which is
wasn't that a college number?
Weird. Yeah, no. Yeah, well, no. Well, it's just so weird because he's going to be a clone of Derrick Henry.
True.
They're literally going to be the same person.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Jesus. So he's going to wear 22. I love the number 22, so that sucks. But then Justin Fields is wearing 1. But I do actually kind of back that up more than anything a little bit, just because like the Bears have never had like a cool quarterback. Like Jay Cutler was kind of cool, and
he's Justin more cool Fields after the fact than after his playing career. Like he's cool with the stuff that he's doing now, not really when he was on the field.
If you think about it, though, I mean, since 2000, Jay Cutler has probably been the best Bears quarterback.
I don't know if you follow Adam Rank on any socials, but he argues that Jay Cutler was the best Bears quarterback ever. He's like, oh yeah, I know he won the Jim McMahon won the Super Bowl for them or whatever, but like statistically, he's the best Bears quarterback ever.
That makes sense. Yeah, because they don't really have. That's why. Going back to my point about Fields wearing 1, I kind of respect that because it's kind of swagged out, and let's be honest. Nick Foles and Andy Dalton aren't necessarily swagged out, so they need a lot of swag in the quarterback room. So he will wear. Don't. Trevor Lawrence wore 16. I think probably everyone knew that.
Surprised.
Try Lance. I've never heard of this guy. Never heard of him.
Try Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo not
Trey-
working? Try Lance.
Wow, that's a T-shirt idea. He is gonna wear 5, I believe.
That's a weird number. I've never liked 5 on any quarterbacks. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first guy that comes to mind that wore number 5 is Blake Bortles.
See, the first one that comes. Well, we have some news about Blake Bortles.
Do we?
He signed with the Packers.
Did he really?
Yes.
When?
Blake Bortles. I put it on here. I said, look at the title. Maybe I didn't put the title in the thing. Yeah, Blake Bortles is back.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't even realize that. Jesus.
So we'll get to him in a sec. But when I think of number 5, the only guy I think of Joe Flacco.
That's true. I kind of forgot about Flacco.
Yeah, but dude, the boat, the best of all time. He's incredible. I love Blake Bortles. If you go through like some of his old like pre-halftime interviews with people, they're hilarious. I mean, like one time they were down, I think like 17-3 at the half, and they asked him like, "So what could you guys do better?" And he was just kind of like, "I mean, we didn't do anything right, so we can do everything better now." So, but yes, Blake is a member of the Green Bay Packers now. So speaking of the Packers, I guess we might as well we'll take the straw poll every day until the season, I guess, or every episode till the season. Do we think Aaron Rodgers will be on the Packers when the season starts?
I mean, the odds say no, right? And like, hear me out, right? The Packers is only one option for him, but he has like 3 or 4 different other options that could be the outcome of what happens here. So like I'm still on the thing I'm on the boat that says no. I don't think he's going to be a Packer, and if he is, he's not going to be like in the locker room or on the field for them. Because I truly do think that he will retire and go do Jeopardy before, or protest the season and go do Jeopardy.
Yeah, can you look up when his contract is out real quick?
Yep.
Because it would not surprise me at all if he has like 2 years left. If he does just go do Jeopardy for 2 years until that contract is, I guess I don't know how that works. So if that contract would expire, but he's not in the league.
No, it doesn't count. They still have 2 years of service on him if that happens. But there's a potential out after this season.
Yeah, the whole thing, I have to believe, not I have to believe, it's common sense and just a general fact that the Packers are better with Aaron Rodgers on their team.
100%.
But
here's my thing, though. If you're Aaron Rodgers, right, entering this season and throughout this season, you're going to be 38 years old. You can't afford to sit out 2 years anyway, because those might be the last 2 years of your prime, unless you're like Tom Brady, where you're taking care of your body and doing everything. And I bet Aaron Rodgers is doing that to his extent, not necessarily Brady's. But I mean, you're still giving up 2 years of your prime in protest, and it might not even work.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going to go opposite you. I think he is on the Packers because I just don't. I think they'll refuse to trade him, and not only that, now that the draft is over. I mean, what do we think a package for Aaron Rodgers would look like? It would have to be like.
Did I read you this thing on Monday that I have from?
Was it the trade?
The trade packages for Rodgers from the Broncos. It was like a player at minimum 2 to 3 firsts, and then a bundle of other picks. Like no team's gonna really want to do that.
You say that, but there is one guy who will do that, and that is John Elway.
Yeah, like here's the little thing that I have for my Facebook. The most reasonable offer, and the one that I could see potentially, if they're going to try and build around Jordan Love, because apparently he's a franchise guy, according to them, I guess.
That's such a bad. That was, and it wasn't only that was like. it wasn't only that they went like a defensive player again or just didn't draft. Like it was a straight up spit in Aaron Rodgers' face. Like, haha, we have taken only defense. Now we take offense, but it's your replacement.
Exactly.
So,
but like they're not the Packers are not going to ask for a quarterback in return, especially if that quarterback is Drew Lock. So if they're going to try and help out Jordan Love at all, they'll trade Rodgers for Cortland Sutton, 3 firsts and a second is what this guy from CBS says is one package. Get him another receiver opposite Adams, or they'll trade for Graham Glasgow, who's I guess an offensive lineman because they lost Corey Linsley in free agency. 3 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders.
Glasgow's not a center, though.
But like just rebuilding the line in general, just the mentality of it.
I would say he's from Michigan. I believe he is a guard, but
yeah.
I don't even like for the if I'm the Packers and I'm gonna trade him to the Broncos. I mean, I gotta tell you, I want 1, if not 2, of Bradley Chubb and
Von Miller,
Jerry Judy. Like if you're going to trade Aaron Rodgers, which makes this, I think, once again less likely because he's old. If you're going to trade him you want to trade him for a young guy. Like, and if you're not going to ask for if you're not going to ask for a quarterback in return, I guess the options maybe open up a little bit, or they close.
I think it's open. So, like, off that list that I just read you, all of the offers and all of the packages were 1 player and a bunch of picks. I don't think the deal is going to be like that. I think you could take 2 guys off that list and then some other picks along with it. If you were to say, okay, Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver. In return, they got Cortland Sutton, Von Miller, 2 firsts and a third or something like that. Like you get 2 solid players. One of them's on the back end of his career. One of them's coming off an ACL injury. 2 firsts and another pick. Like that might be enough for the Packers to say, okay, we can still compete now. But I don't think that Jordan Love is ready to compete now.
And I'm also if I'm the Packers, I don't necessarily want Von Miller. He's almost like 34. Like, yeah, if I was the Packers, I would. This is the trade I would ask for from Denver. I would want 2 first-round picks, either next year's and the following years, or next year's and then a year ahead of that. And then 2 of either Jerry Jeudy, Justin Simmons, Bradley Chubb. So two of those 3 probably. Yeah.
Or you could also go with that Glasgow.
And I forgot Denver signed Kyle Fuller, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the opportunity is going to be there for Denver. Is going to come down to how much do they want to give away.
Right.
If they're smart, they won't give away a lot.
But there's still that dark horse team that you and I agreed on, Washington. Washington would be an absolute steal, or that would be a dream place for Aaron Rodgers to land. A top defense in the league, weapons around you, and a young rookie running, or I guess he's a second year now running back, who can be a workhorse guy.
Who?
Antonio Gibson.
Oh, okay.
Right. The receivers are a little thin still, but you have more weapons than you did at Green Bay. I mean, Devontae Adams is a top 5 receiver, which Terry McLaurin is not, but McLaurin's really good. Curtis Samuel, I think, is a very valuable too. And you have Logan Thomas, who I think is at least the same, if not better than Robert Tonyan, because he's a little more consistent.
I mean, if you were to ask me if I'd rather have Devontae Adams or Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, I'll take Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Like,
2 receivers are better than 1, even if they don't equal up to the top 5. Having Devontae Adams is great, but we see the same thing with him, with Michael Thomas, with prime AJ Green. There was no secondary guy to take the pressure off of that number one, so he always gets double or triple covered.
Yeah. I mean, the position of wide receiver is now changing as well too. So, but all right, let's take our little
Aaron Rodgers.
I take our last look at the draft. Some predicted winners. So we'll go over MVP, offensive, defensive player in a second. I might sound really dumb for saying this, but is there offensive rookie of the year in the AFC and the NFC?
You cut out a little bit. Could you repeat that? You say, is there a candidate for O'Roy in each?
No. Oh yeah. I do. For offensive and defensive rookie of the year, do they give one out for the AFC and NFC, or is it just one?
It's just one.
One for each. Okay. All right. Okay. You can go first then if you have yours written down, because I'm still looking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think for offensive rookie of the year, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the front runner favorite here for a little bit, and then the rest is the field. I don't really see anyone taking that honor away as of right now. Obviously, it's all speculation, but with all the hype around Lawrence, we've seen it before, like with Herbert over Justin Jefferson. He got it because he's just the quarterback that came out of nowhere. It's a popularity thing. It's the same reason why Zion – did Zion win offensive rookie, or was it John Morant? I don't know. He was still in contention.
I don't watch the NBA. I don't watch the NBA.
It's just the hype around Lawrence is going to be very hard to overcome. Same thing with Burrow when he came out.
I hear what you're saying. I disagree. I think either Najee Harris is going to win it for Pittsburgh, which sucks for me, or Jamar Chase for Cincinnati, which would also suck for me. But I could deal with that a little better because I don't think Cincinnati's going to be good. I legitimately think Burrow is going to target Chase on just under 50% of his throws. I mean,
do you see
they have a good receiving core, but I'm sure when Jamar Chase gets out there, Joe Burrow's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, what it's like throwing to really good receivers." So, I think it'll be one of those.
He breaks Justin Jefferson's record that he just set last year for 1,400 receiving yards.
No, didn't he set a record for
most by rookie?
Yeah. What about? Did he set receiving touchdowns too?
I don't think so.
Well, either way, to answer your question, no, I don't think Jamar Chase will have anywhere near 1,400 yards, just because he's a receiver that's going to come out and be double teamed right away.
Hang on, I'm trying to. Okay, this is not helping. I'm trying to pull up the receiving records for rookies. I think it was only yards. I don't think he broke catches or touchdowns.
Yeah, you don't have to look up it. It's fine. I mean, I don't think Jefferson, or I don't think anyone will touch that record this year, because it was 1,400 right on the dot, wasn't it? That was what's weird about it. Yeah. So I do think I don't think he'll go 14 yards. How many touchdowns did he have that year or this past year? If you can figure it out, because I think he more than anywhere else in the field, he's going to be a red zone threat. So I think he'll probably catch close to 8 or 9 touchdowns.
Jefferson had 7.
I think he'll have more than that. I think Jamar Chase will have more than that.
88 catches, 1,400 yards, and 7 catches. 7 touchdown catches.
I don't know if he'll be 88 catches. But
yeah, I think it's going to be hard for him to rack up the catches like that with the system that he's in. Because even though Burrow's going to target him more, he still has T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd.
And Joe Mixon. Who him and Saquon Barkley are like, along with Derrick Rose, like, are like the three athletes that I just wish never hurt themselves because
Right.
they would be so crazy. Like I know everyone says it about Derrick Rose, but if Derrick Rose ankles and knees did give out, it would have been
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, like I said, I like Jamar Chase for Offensive Rookie of the Year or Najee Harris. Like I said, I hope it's not Najee Harris, but I also feel like Offensive Rookie of the Year. I guess I haven't looked at the past couple ones, but I feel like it's probably easier for a running back to win it, especially if he's gonna be the lead back in Pittsburgh, which I think he will be, considering James Conner signed in Arizona.
James Conner, yeah, rookie. Yes, Arizona.
Yeah, because he's part of that ragtag crew of Philip Lindsay and all those weirdos that signed with the Texans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong team. I'm thinking of the wrong team. No, Philip Lindsay is on the Texans. He's on the Cardinals. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled up the list of previous offensive rookie winners. Quarterback. This is from 2020 backwards. Quarterback, running back, quarterback, running back, receiver, running back, quarterback. And they seem to really spread it around, but historically running backs are the ones that win it.
Yeah, like I said, I'd give the edge to Najee Harris just because, and especially in the AFC North, once it comes down to, I mean, even early, like late September-ish, the weather's gonna change and it'll end up being a grinded out game, which is why the Browns getting Nick Chubb is lucky as hell. But Najee Harris is gonna be a tough guy to stop as well too.
How about
so
what
about my defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
I would love to see one of the corners win it. I don't think they will. I don't think Surtain will. I'll go with. Oh shit! I lost him. Hold on. It's definitely not going to be Jamin Davis.
Oh, Jamin Davis. What a guy.
I'll go with either Micah Parsons or Kwity Paye. Yeah, Micah Parsons or Kwity Paye. I think Kwity Paye will. I mean, I think he was a steal at 20, but we've already talked about that at nauseum.
Yeah, true.
And I just don't. It's really tough for corners to come in the league and just make an immediate impact if they're not picking passes off. Like, because you don't care if they like when you see a corner, you want to see the stats, you want to see passes defended and like interceptions. But
right,
yeah. So I don't think it'll be any of the corners. I mean. I think it's going to be incredibly interesting to see how J.C. Horn transfers into the NFL. I said it all along. He was my best corner, but he also had – I mean, his biggest problem was ball production. And in a Carolina defense, he's probably going to get the ball thrown at him a lot. So hopefully he can live up to it. And I guess if I would take one of the corners to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year, it would probably be Caleb Farley. I would like it to be Newsome, but there's just a lot of good secondary players around him. And Farley, if he's healthy, I thought was the best corner in the draft anyways. And he's more physical and what's his face? Who's Tennessee? Vrabel. Vrabel loves physical corners. So, but like I said, I don't think Farley will be ready to go week 1. So I will take who did I take? Oh, Kwity Paye or Micah Parsons. I would probably lean heavier towards Kwity Paye just because I think it's going to be tough for Micah Parsons to adjust to the coverage aspect of linebacker.
Right. It's funny because but
the thing is with Parsons is like it would not shock me at all if he had 145 tackles. So,
right.
I mean, if I'm sure you've watched some of his film, but I mean, he is basically the perfect example of a run support linebacker. I mean, he fit they'll do a 3-tech and a 5-tech, and he'll fill in. I mean, he is going to be a good middle linebacker. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's funny because you said Pay Parsons. I went Parsons Pay as my top two because like those are the guys that just stand out. Pay is entering into a really good defense, and he's slotting right in for Justin Houston, who wasn't brought back. So I think he's gonna slide right in, and he could have an immediate impact early on in the season. But my dark horse kind of candidate that I had picked on a little bit was Zaven Collins to Arizona. He's going to fill in for what is it, Hicks? Because I saw he's gonna play a Mike linebacker now, and whoever's spot he's like lining up to take, they told his agent that he's like free to like seek a trade. I think it's Hicks. Hang on, let me
see. No, you can keep talking. Wait, okay. So you're talking about who?
It's Zaven Collins, but he's forcing out. Jordan Hicks, because the Cardinals told Hicks's agent that he was free to seek a trade and stuff like that. So I think with that being said, if he could play just as good as Jordan Hicks, and obviously that's like a very big hole that he's trying to fill. But like if he can hold down the position a little bit, I think people are going to take notice to him immediately. So he's kind of my dark horse pick for the D-Roy this year.
Hold on, I'm pulling something up. I don't think it'll go to Zaven Collins. I thought that was a little bit of a reach, to be honest. I like Zaven Collins, and if he has the athletic ability to transfer over well, it'll just be. I mean, it's become a real thing now. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to way better competition. So, yeah, I was going to say something else. I forgot. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think one of the most I don't know why. Oh yeah, we were talking about the Colts. That's why. This brought me. I think maybe other than Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald, I think Deforest Buckner might be the most dominant defensive lineman in the NFL. Like,
yep.
You almost have to triple team him. Like if you put him in the 3-tech right across the center, you might as well just send all three at him. He is insane, which also brings me to another dark horse who I would have liked to see the Browns pick up, but obviously I'm not going to complain about the Browns draft because it was incredible. Christian Barmore, this is weird. I mean, I guess he's never going to have – a defensive tackle is never going to have the stats that like an end or a edge rusher does. But in terms of importance, I think that he'll be really important this year because, I mean, that's why I really hope Sheldon Richardson signs back with the Browns. I think teams really – obviously you need your edge rushers, but I think the interior defensive line positions and the interior offensive line positions are where actually a lot of games are won in the NFL, I think. So, yeah. But
I like that pick as well. Solid dark horse.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, we saw a bunch of guys drop into the second round. Like, it would not surprise me to see Tevin Jenkins win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, like I said, Barmore, it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if they give it out to tackles, though.
You know what I was trying to get at, Thomas.
Okay, Mom. Jeez. Thomas.
All right, yeah, Thomas. All right, well then let's head right to it. Let's do our MVPs. So refresh us all, Tom. Who won the MVP last year?
I think that's a good question. Was it Mahomes? Was it Mahomes?
I don't know.
I didn't pay attention to the NFL awards. All I know is that I wrote an article about who I thought it was, and then I didn't watch him.
Yeah, it
was Aaron Rodgers. That's why we're forgetting. There's so much other drama around him. It was Aaron Rodgers.
Was it?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers won the MVP, and then I know Alex Smith won Comeback Player of the Year, I think.
He did. Yeah.
Coach of the Year was
Kevin Stefanski. I know that.
Stefanski, yes.
So it's very interesting when you search Aaron Rodgers, or when you search NFL MVP 2020. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers comes up, but then the other people like in the suggestions we have Shailene Woodley, Peyton Manning, Teddy Bridgewater. Don't know where their paths cross at all. Tom Brady, Danica Patrick, Dak Prescott. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers and Dak, kicking back, watching some movies. And Zach Wilson would probably absolutely love to be like Aaron Rodgers. It's probably his favorite player. It probably is. So
probably.
I completely forgot about it last year too, because I think we forgot about a lot of the stuff. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that happened this past year, because you weren't necessarily worried about who was going to win MVP or what like that, because you were just like, are we going to be able to field a team this week? So, right. Yes, I do want to make a note. Yes, Kevin Stefanski did win the Coach of the Year, but I actually didn't agree with that. I thought it should have went to Ron Rivera.
Really?
Beating cancer, coming back, beating cancer and winning it. Obviously, that gets the emotional one. Kevin Stefanski absolutely deserves it. We'll have to try and plan something for the fall for you to come to Cleveland, or maybe I'll go to New York one time. I've never seen this city so excited. It's weird. And I did write an article. It's one of my staggered articles that is waiting to go out in probably 2 months. But for the Browns, this just feels so much like 2019. 2018, Baker was a rookie. They fired Hugh Jackson. Then Freddie Kitchens came on. It was awesome. And then they hired Freddie Kitchens, and everything went wrong. That was the summer that they traded for Odell as well. And I think their first game, they lost like 42-13 to the Titans, who they beat last year by like 28. So, but yeah, So, like I said, let's head to our MVP. I think we're kind of getting into the area where I think this year will be like the first year, really. Aaron Rodgers will probably be in contention, depending on where Aaron Rodgers
depends on if he plays.
Yeah, if he plays too. But I do think this will be like the year of turnover to like the new class of superstar players. Like Josh Allen becomes the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes, things like that. Give me your three candidates.
Well,
you know what? Give me your three candidates, and then give me a dark horse.
So I did two in a dark horse as my three candidates.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I would never be surprised if Tom Brady were to win MVP, because he is the MVP of the league. And coming off a Super Bowl, there's already going to be a lot of hype and media attention around him. I just got a notification on my phone about his reunion or his homecoming to New England this year that's on their schedule.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So there's going to be a lot of media hype around him, and if he starts blowing up like he did the second half of the season, I think the real reason Brady didn't win it last year was because of that slow start he had when he was still building chemistry with people. Now that they all had a full year together, it would not surprise me if Brady throws for like 5,000 yards.
I forgot about that. I forgot about how bad the Bucs started. Do you remember, like, Tom Brady threw a pick six in like 3 straight games to start the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you on Tom Brady. He's not one of my three, but once again, it would never surprise me. It's like Bill. To me, it's like Bill Belichick might be able to win the Coach of the Year this year. Who knows? So yeah. But no, I agree with you on that one.
So I had last year when I did my award predictions, I did kind of the same thing, like top three with a dark horse, and my dark horse for it was Josh Allen. And I had elevated Josh Allen. That's why I was laughing when you said his name. He's my number 2 candidate as of right now to win it. They've built around him a little bit better. Hoping that they figure the running game out a little bit to take some of the pressure off him. But they also brought in Emmanuel Sanders to complement Stephon Diggs. I think it could be a really big year for him. And then for my third one and my dark horse selection, this might be a little bit of a curveball that you might have not been expecting, but I'm going to put out Matt Stafford's name finally breaking out from Los Angeles or from Detroit, moving to Los Angeles where he has some weapons and a good coach with an offensive mind and a good defense behind him, Stafford could have a season that everyone sort of knew that he had in him, but we never got to see because he played for the Lions. So that's going to be my dark horse there. It's going to be very interesting there, I think, because no one really knows what to expect. But I think that we can hope and we might be able to see some great things coming from Stafford in LA.
So you had Stafford, who was the other two, Mahomes and
Allen and Brady.
Oh, wow. That's a little surprising.
What?
I mean, it's just I don't necessarily disagree with you.
But do we have three different people?
No. I actually pretty much basically agree. But I'm just saying, I think we're different. I would put Josh Allen ahead of Patrick Mahomes this year as well, and you just don't see that out a lot. So
yeah. I'm also like a huge Josh Allen fan. Like we've talked about this on here before. So I may be a little biased, but I really like his game, and I think he could elevate it even more than he elevated this year.
All right, so I'm going to start out with mine at the number.
This is your MVP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is your offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year?
I said Lawrence and Parsons.
All right, cool.
With my dark horse for the rookie being for the defensive being Collins.
Yeah.
Because I also agreed with Pay. He was my number 2 candidate, but I'm sure you're not writing those down.
No, I wrote that. I have all of this, everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So coming in at number 4 for me, we just kind of talked about him. Blake Bortles has the chance to take a great franchise to even greater heights.
For MVP?
It's kind of a joke, Tom. Don't you? God, you didn't even laugh. You suck.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that we were going to comeback player of the year because that's one I think he could win. So I was going to give you props for calling
he's going to win MVP. He's going to win MVP. Do you want to like? It essentially was the Jaguars who were the first team to like start the decline of the Patriots.
True.
Well, which was, I mean, they were so awesome when they had Bortles, Fournette, and they were all young. And they were all good. And then that playoff run that they had, and then just all went wrong. Okay. 3, so I'm going to go with Mahomes as 1 for me, just because I think a lot of voters are at a point where unless like you really outperform Mahomes, he's going to win the MVP because he's going to have more yards and more touchdowns than everyone else. My dark horse is Derrick Henry from the Titans.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think this is the year that you go with the running back, but if they ever were to go with a running back, I mean, he's really the only running back I could think of. I mean, you could put Nick Chubb up there, but Nick Chubb is always going to have his carries and his play snaps down because of Kareem Hunt and because of the Browns' offense. But yeah, I think if a coach were to ever win it with a running back, it would be Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry, in my opinion. Right. And then go ahead.
I was just going to say, I actually went back and looked real quick at the article that I came up with. Derrick Henry was actually my MVP or dark horse candidate last year when I was doing them like at the end of the season. Yeah. Because Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000 yards, won NFL MVP and comeback player of the year because it was off a torn ACL. Derrick Henry just ran for 2,000 yards. Last year was the year you should have gave it to the running back because you don't get a 2,000-yard season every other year.
Well, yeah, and that's why, like I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I love the pick. I love the call.
I think they think. Well, they do probably don't think the NFL probably doesn't think they screwed up with the MVP vote because I mean Rodgers did make the NFC Championship game, I believe.
Yeah, but it's supposed to only be regular season, I thought.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, so. So my number 2, Baker.
Right.
Sorry. What were we talking about before that? People keeps switching my mind. What were we talking about before that?
Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards. You were saying that people think that the NFL messed up by giving it to Rodgers.
Oh yeah, the NFL they probably think that it messed up because they get. But if like you know how like in basketball, like ref will miss a call and then I'll give you one later. Like I could see the NFL doing that but that's only if like he like serious. He does it every year, so it's weird to say that. But like if he gets over 2150 this year, it would be a crime if he didn't win the MVP. And I still think Derrick Henry, while I don't think he has the greatest hands in the world, I still think you could use him. I mean, he would be an insane guy running the screen. He would be insane. I mean, all you do is you catch the ball and run as fast as you can. Yeah, like so they could use him in the passing game too, but they don't. But
he also ran for 17 touchdowns. I just want to point that out. That's a crap ton of touchdowns.
Yeah. What's the record? It's the record was set in.
It was Eric Dickerson. I think he ran for like 21 or for rushing.
Yeah, no. I'm looking it up. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. Whoa. All right. So stop looking it up. Who do you think it is? All right. I'll tell you who it is, what year it was. And you have to guess how many touchdowns. LT.
Wait. Is this total touchdowns or just rushing?
Just rushing.
Okay.
So 2006 LT with the Chargers. How many rushing touchdowns? I honestly can't believe this is real.
25.
28.
Oh. Yo, and that's crazy because like he also had a crap ton of receiving touchdowns, I'm sure, because he was just a utility guy.
Yeah,
I meant rushing yards in the season. I think Dickerson had like 21.
Oh, rushing yards in a season. Yeah. Dickerson had he might have had 2,200. Yeah, he had 2,100 though. I know for sure.
He had 2,105.
Yeah, LT. I mean, this was like if you ever want to talk about the golden age of the running back from basically. What was I talking about?
You were talking about LT.
Oh yeah, it was like the golden era of running backs. So in 1991, Barry Sanders won. 1992. Okay, this is the wrong. Okay, I'm starting over again. In 1998 and 97. All right. This is very. I need to share this screen. How do you share your screen?
So you go to the share thing. That's the rightmost button when you move it around or you see it.
Yeah.
And then you click share screen and you find the tab.
Yeah. Can you see this?
Yeah, Joel Embiid.
No, this right here. Do you see? I'm pointing to 1997.
No, you're sharing the wrong tab. You're sharing a screen with Joel Embiid.
Yes,
there you go.
Joel Embiid. Okay, stop. I want to stream. All right, well, whatever. Basically, it's lost its luster. But this was like the golden era of running backs. So, like I said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is on. That's why I wanted to share the screen. In 1997, they have him listed here as the NFL MVP, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So that's interesting. But no. So from 1997 till here, I'll read them all. So 97 Terrell Davis, 98 Terrell Davis, 99 Stephen Davis, 20 Marshall Faulk, 2001 Sean Alexander, 2002 and 2003 Priest Holmes, 2004 LT, 2005 Sean Alexander, 2006 2007 LaDainian Tomlinson, 2008 D'Angelo Williams, 2009 Peterson, 2010 Arian Foster.
Arian Foster, man, what a guy!
Wait, whatever. this is all wrong. I don't know what's going on. Whatever.
It's fine.
All right, yeah. So 28 touchdowns. That's crazy.
Insane. Especially
That's
just
crazy.
rushing, because I already know that he had like another 10 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah,
or something like that.
he was like the first like
hybrid,
almost if he was in the game today, I think he'd mostly be used as a third down back. So yeah. I agree. All right.
Anyway,
so I guess I'll just explain Baker. I honestly just really want him to win. But he also is going to have this is the first time he's coming into a season where he's going to be running the same offense. And I think I probably told you, but a lot of people don't know. Very rarely does an entire coaching staff return for the next year. The Browns' entire coaching staff somehow is returning this year, so he will not have to learn a new system. Kevin Stefanski also now knows. I hope he knows, but the NFL also now knows how good Baker can be and what he does well and what he doesn't do well. So he's obviously going to spread the ball out with Hunt and Chubb. But I just think and then him with Anthony Schwartz added in, with Odell Beckham added in. I might want to trade Odell Beckham at some point. That
probably
depends on what we
get some extra assets.
Yeah, but if you look at the Brown, what position do you really need?
You could get like a replacement guy for maybe some of the older guys on your team. I don't know. I don't know the team inside and out like you do.
The only spot that's a little iffy to me is the interior defensive line. They did lose Larry Ogunjobi and Sheldon Richardson, even though it now seems like Sheldon Richardson is coming back.
Yeah, but still, he's going to be on the older side, so maybe trade Odell for, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a young guy.
Who's would you trade Odell for Leonard Williams?
I don't know if the Giants are going to take him back. I was thinking maybe send him over to.
Okay, with the Jets, will you take him for? Oh no, that dude just got busted with drugs, didn't he?
Who?
Your first round pick last year.
Quinnen Williams?
Yeah, didn't he get in trouble for something? Or
no, he broke a bone in his foot. He's out 8 to 10 weeks, but he'll be ready by camp.
All right, so will you trade him for
me personally, no.
Yeah, I see. That's what I'm saying.
If you go to the Vikings, honestly, wait. If you go to the Vikings, right? They have Jefferson and Thielen, and then no real third. Thielen is old, and he's really only a slot guy now. If you were to say, hey, why not have an offense of Odell, Justin Jefferson, and Adam Thielen with Dalvin Cook and what's his name? Who's the quarterback? Kirk Cousins. Wow. I was still thinking about Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow.
We need to come up with a name for all the standard QBs, like
Captain
Aaron
Kirk.
Like Kirk Cousins, some other guys that are just we're in that class that we're just game managers. But all right, go on.
Garoppolo, yeah, I got you. But go to the Vikings, be like, yo, send us what's the guy's name that they just got from the Giants? Tomlinson. Dalvin Tomlinson from Louisville. You know what I'm talking about. That guy is a young stud who could be a long-term replacement, right? You go over to them and be like, yo, straight up. I know it's not great value. Obviously you could get a little bit more for Odell, but just the fact that he's coming off an injury, he's a little bit older now and hasn't really played football over the past 2 seasons. Send him over, straight up deal. And that gets you a long-term replacement for Richardson, and you guys are set.
Yeah, that is a good move. I agree. But I don't know if I'd trade Odell yet. If he comes into the season and then towards the deadline, he's not playing that well, then offload him on someone else. That's fine. But we've never really had a full season of Odell and Baker in the same offense. And I know I've said that already, but hopefully that helps. And like I said, if it doesn't help, dump him for a utility running back or something like that it before the trade deadline, and
Or
I'm
trade
sure
him to Washington so that they can have 3 receivers and have a true one. Get someone off their D line.
It's
Sweat.
I'll take no. I don't want Sweat. Who plays inside for the? Oh, I want Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they could fix up the defensive tackle spot. Also, though, like I said, Sheldon Richardson seems like he's coming back. He was the victim of signing Clowney at the time, but now it looks like he's ready to come back at a discounted price, hopefully. So that would be good. But yeah, it would just be tough for me to trade Odell right now, just because, like, I know if we do, and even if I think it's a good trade, I'll look back 10 years from now and be like, well, we never really got to see how good the Cleveland receivers were because they never, or how good the Cleveland offense was because they never got like the chance to have a healthy Odell Beckham or anything like that. And I'll say this about Odell: he's been awesome with the city. I don't think he does many like fundraising stuff, but he's awesome with the city. He always like takes pictures with fans. He's a fan favorite, which is, I mean, weird, but he's a fan favorite. So, yeah, I'd have trouble trading him right now.
Right.
But it could come to that point where if it came to the point where if you asked me, like, you either have to trade him before the season for like a guy like Tomlinson or you wait until the season's over and just cut him, I'd probably rather trade for Tomlinson. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
So
anyway. You want to run through the offense and defensive players of the year real quick, and then we'll get out?
Yes. You can go ahead first.
So for my offensive player of the year, I had Mahomes because I had left him out. By the way, Mahomes would have been like the third candidate for me in MVP, but I only did 2 with the dark horse instead of doing 3 with the dark horse. So Mahomes for offensive player of the year.
Yeah, Blake Bortles has a better chance to win the MVP than Baker Mayfield. I'm fully aware of that. There's no I just have to have hope. I have to have hope sometime.
I love that. I love that line. So Mahomes, somehow if Lamar Jackson plays like he did the last time he won MVP, like he seems to be like Matt Ryan. Like he's going to have a down year, then an up year, then a down year, and now maybe an up year. Who knows? But I don't really see it. But he could be in contention just because of how much love he gets from the media.
I will say, if I'm the Ravens, like if you're the Ravens, you can't complain because you got this guy and you changed your whole offense around him.
You knew what he was going to be.
You knew what he was going to be. And B, he's getting to the point where he needs to stop running all the time. Like I was even talking to the barber today about that, and
he needs to start being more of a pocket passer, and that's when he won MVP. Was when he focused on passing first. But he really just doesn't trust his receivers. Hopefully, bringing in Bateman and Wallace helps that.
I hope so, but I mean, I don't hope so, but I mean,
true.
It's just so weird to talk about the Ravens and Steelers because we play them so much, but and they always win. It's just weird talking about it like we have a chance to beat them. So it's weird.
Right.
But
and then my dark horse candidate for offensive rookie or offensive player of the year, excuse me, Justin Herbert. With the revamped line and some extra wide receivers and getting Eckler back could be a really solid season for him potentially.
Yeah. Okay. He's just going to go surf all the time, bro. Have you ever seen his hair?
He got a buzz cut.
I don't trust him even more now. Can't keep his hair straight.
Go Bears.
For offensive player of the year, I'll just go Aaron Rodgers again. You know what? I'll take it back. I think Lamar Jackson might win it because it feels like every 3 years or so he's really up there in the MVP conversation, and it feels like he wasn't really there last year that much. and I can't remember about the year before. I think he did win the MVP the year before. So
Yeah, he's only been in the league 4 years.
I guess if I can't pick Mahomes, I'll take Jackson, but I think Mahomes will be the MVP. But I'll just say Rodgers for now to make it different.
Sure.
Because it would be honestly so cool to see Aaron Rodgers like win a Super Bowl in like I don't know, somewhere that the Packers fans hate or something. So I
win
think
back-to-back MVPs, but with different teams.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be the first time ever, right?
For any sport, I'm sure.
And my defensive player of the year, I know I said Baker. I don't actually think he'll win it. If Myles Garrett can play all 17 games, I think it'll be pretty obvious how clear, other than Aaron Donald, I'll say that. But I think you'll see how pretty clear how Myles Garrett is the best pass rushing. And then, you know what? I'll give my dark horse contender. I'm just going to pick all Browns players. I'll give my dark horse to Jadeveon Clowney because he's going to have a great season because everyone's going to be double teaming Myles Garrett. See, this is what you do as a fan when your teams used to suck. You just make up explanations of yourself of why things are okay. I've been trying to teach you this. I don't know why you haven't.
And that's how Eagles fans were born.
Is Devonta Smith wearing 6?
I think so. I
saw it. I saw it on Fanatics, and I didn't know.
So what they do on Fanatics is they just put in the number they wore in college, and then they change it once they become official numbers.
Yeah, because I also saw Kyle Pitts is wearing 8.
That's weird. Whatever. So yeah, I agreed. Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett were my top 2 guys. My dark horse though, Justin Simmons. They don't normally give it out to defensive backs, but if he has a year where he's all over the place on the field getting tackles and gets double-digit interceptions, could turn it on like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that. So that's my dark horse.
I think we're due for a cornerback to have a really good year this year. I mean, it seems like 3 years ago. It was almost 2 years ago. It will be 3 years ago this year in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's when Richard Sherman made his little comeback with San Francisco. So, they don't usually give it to defensive backs. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it does make sense in the NFL because if you get pressure, you win. So,
Stephon Gilmore won it 2 years ago, but outside of that, it's always defensive end, defensive tackles, linebackers. The last safety to win it was Troy Polamalu in 2010.
I take it back. My defensive player of the year. No, this will be my dark horse for defensive player of the year. Deforest Buckner.
Yeah.
Because I honestly really think he is the one defender in the NFL that you might have to triple team him.
Yeah.
He's so big.
He's an so absolute big animal. Like he's so good and especially on the run, like when they're running it up the middle, it's over because you have to triple team him, but everyone else is going to collapse around it. So then you can't do that. So then he gets a ton of tackles on the run.
Yeah, and he's like 6'7". He's huge. Huge. I don't know. That's those Oregon guys, man. They're just born at Nike factory and they're fast. But all right, I think that's it. We'll skip the Mount Rushmore of fast food joints. I need to come up with better Mount Rushmores. And my game isn't until 3 anyways. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Did we miss anything on your list?
I don't think so.
We missed the scheduling stuff. If you want to do that, I really.
We don't need to go. We don't need to go over the schedule again. I think we talked about this did we talk about it on Monday? Rest in peace, Colt Brennan. No. Do you know who Colt Brennan is?
Yeah, he was the Hawaii quarterback.
Yes, he died, I believe. So if we recorded on Monday, he must have died either yesterday or Tuesday. He was really the first quarterback to put up big numbers. like the first at Hawaii because June Jones came over with his run and shoot offense. He in his senior year, I think he finished third for the Heisman. He threw 58 touchdown passes, which back in 2006 was insane.
It was a record.
So, yeah. So, yeah, but it sucks for him. He was, I guess, bad stuff. So, yeah, that's too bad. But he definitely was a player that I will always remember. I mean, watching him play was literally like going on like the old NCAA football game and setting your opponent to like super easy, and that's what he did. It was insane. But I think that's going to do it for us today. I think next week, we could do power rankings next week.
Sure. I'm going to be in Chicago, so I will see. I'll probably bring this if I have room for it in my
if you can't do it, no big deal.
I'm bringing my laptop. I might not have the mic, but I'll see if I have room for it.
No worries. I believe I'm interviewing, hopefully. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Make sure you tune in next week. Anything, Tom?
Let's go Dogs, baby. You already know. Let's get the bread.